In the lab, with a twist of fate, the cheese doctor's here, it's never too late. With a wheel of brie and cheddar so fine, he knows every flavor, every design. He's got the cures for every craving, from creamy goat cheese to sharp and amazing. No lactose, no problem, he's got the fix. Healing with cheese, oh, it's the ultimate mix. Oh, the cheese doctor, master of the curd, spreading joy with every bite, haven't you heard? From Gouda to feta and Parmesan too, the cheese doctor knows just what to do. In his white coat, with a smile so wide, he's got the knowledge of cheese on his side. Aged or fresh, soft or blue, whatever you need, he's got the brew. He's got the cures for every craving, from creamy goat cheese to sharp and amazing. No lactose, no problem, he's got the fix. Healing with cheese, oh, it's the ultimate mix. Oh, the cheese doctor, master of the curd, spreading joy with every bite, haven't you heard? From Gouda to feta and Parmesan too, the cheese doctor knows just what to do. He'll stitch up your heart with a mozzarella hug, give your soul a taste of a cheddar drug. If you got a craving, don't you despair, the cheese doctor's always right there. Oh, the cheese doctor, master of the curd, spreading joy with every bite, haven't you heard? From Gouda to feta and Parmesan too, the cheese doctor knows just what to do. So here's to the cheese doctor, the legend so true. With every bite, you'll know what to do. Healing with cheese, it's a world of delight. The cheese doctor, making everything right.
Hi everyone, welcome once again to my show as the Cheese Doctor and to my YouTube channel, Dr. Quesero TV. This is the English version of the show that I do early in the morning at 9:30 a.m. New Zealand time. But if you want to learn how to make cheese, but you speak English or you don't speak Spanish, because my mother tongue is Spanish, you can do it here in English, okay? However, today I'm gonna make an exception. Why? Because I have problem with my show in YouTube, because for a reason I put it unlisted in the link. It wasn't public, and I didn't realize, so I was halfway of the show. And the point is that no one. When I was checking the audience, no one was connected. And then I realized that the video was, or the web, or the streaming was unlisted. So I'm going to repeat it again. So if you're gonna make if you're gonna ask me something in Spanish, it's fine, okay? I'm gonna say it in Spanish now. Tuve problemas con la plataforma de YouTube y había puesto el video en restringido. Así que si quieren hacer una pregunta y hablan español, no hay ningún problema. Por hoy voy a hacer la sección y vamos a hacerlo, ¿ok? Así que si están conectados, conéctense con muchísimo gusto y yo los ayudo y les digo cualquier pregunta que les contesto, cualquier pregunta que tengan que hacer, ¿ok? So if you have any questions, don't worry about it. I'm gonna answer any question that you might have, because this is the idea. We are here to learn how to make cheese. So if you want to learn how to make it commercially, or you want to make it because you are a cheese lover like me and you are passionate about cheese making, okay, you can stay here with me and we're gonna learn together. Okay, well, I'm gonna teach you anyway. We are almost 54,000 subscribers, and we are streaming in Instagram and in YouTube, okay, and Twitch as well. For a reason, I'm not streaming in TikTok. I'm not allowing TikTok to stream, so but anyway, it is what it is. Okay, we can't do anything about it. My name is Dietrich Truxes, and I am the cheese doctor. And we are almost 54,000 subscribers. Thank you to you all for all the support. I really appreciate it. Without you, we wouldn't have any show, guys. So I I really appreciate it, the support, and follow me if you want to learn how to make cheese. As always, we always talk about a topic each week. Okay, and I don't know if you might have seen sometimes in your house, in your kitchen, or maybe in your factory if you're making cheese commercially, and you see and you notice that the cheeses are turning red or pink. Okay, well, this is something to worry about. We have to take care of it, and it means that something is not working correctly in your food control plant, and something is not working correctly in your cheese factory, or if you're doing at home, something is not going right in your kitchen. So you need to take action straight away. Otherwise, your cheeses are not gonna be as they used to be, good and young. Okay, and your reputation will be affected. So, we're going to tell you all about these pink cheeses. Okay, it's a very short presentation, and if you want to if you want to ask any question more, I will be delighted to answer your question. But first of all, let's say hello to everyone. I have here Coronado Jose Luis, AN6015, in Jesus Monduar. They join. Okay, good. Welcome to you all, guys. And in YouTube, I can see who is connected in YouTube. But anyway, I see that people are connected in YouTube. Okay, no problem. Let's go and start. I'm going to start with the presentation, and this is the. Let's go with the first slide. Here it is. Okay, so what are we going to do in this presentation? What are we going to consider? Well, we're going to talk about the causes of this pinkish pigmentation of the rind in the rind of the cheeses, because it's pretty much presented in the rind. We're going to find out which bacteria is involved, okay, in this in this type of cheeses, okay, or what type of cheeses can affect this bacteria, and the effect of the presence of the rosaceous pigmentation in the artisanal cheeses, how to prevent them, okay, and how pigmentation can affect the taste and the aroma of the cheeses. So we're going to let's start first with the causes, okay, with the why this is happening, okay. Let's talk about why this is happening. So, and the main reason why this is happening is because several factors like temperature, okay, humidity, and the storage, okay. So sometimes when we are in our factory, in our cheeses, in our kitchen, we put the cheeses on the fridge. However, each time that we make a cheese, okay, we follow all the maturation, all the process when making it, okay. This is pretty much at a certain temperature, but once the cheeses get to the cave, they need to keep a cold chain, okay. They need to be in cold at certain temperature. It will depend on the type of cheeses that you make. All right. So if the temperature is not the correct one, the pathogenic bacteria, in this case, the pinkish bacteria, will attack your cheeses, and they will get this pigmentation. Right. So also when the levels of moisture, of the humidity is the same, are not the correct ones, or if we have too much moisture, the bacteria will also develop or will pop up. It will depend. And also the proper conditions of storage. If you have improper conditions, your fridge or your cave is not as clean as it should be, the bacteria will develop, will pop up, and therefore will contaminate your cheeses. Okay, so also a very important topic is the interaction with the other materials. This is very important. Let me put you the slide here. Okay, this is very important. Okay, the choice of ingredient can noticeably affect the final pigmentation of a product, and it's very important to select ingredients that are compatible with the cheese that you're going to achieve. All right. Also, the way that you make the cheese is important. Okay, and this is established in your cheese in your food control plan. You have to have a production method. Okay, for process and your cheeses. Okay, because in this way you can facilitate or maybe mitigate the production of this type of pigment, or in other words, said in other words, you will mitigate the reproduction of the bacteria, and I'm going to tell you the name later on. Okay, in the next slides. Okay, so of course some techniques are more effective than others to mitigate the bacteria. Okay, and why this happen? Because when we are making cheese, our product get cross-contaminated by pigment producing microorganisms. Okay, so there are certain strains of microorganisms that are responsible of the production of this type of pigments into the cheese, which are not good, and they're not pleasant, and because they don't produce a good appearance into the cheese. So we have to take care of it. Okay, and we have to try to mitigate the best that we can. Another aspect, and why this is happening, because of the something, one word, is only one word: hygiene. The hygiene and the and how we handle our cheeses is very important. So hygiene, we have proper hygiene is important when we are making cheese, because in this way we can avoid the cross contamination, and by doing that we're gonna achieve a quality product. Okay, we also have to learn how to manage these contaminants, right? Poor handling might introduce contaminant agents, right? In other words, bacteria. Poor hygiene will introduce bacteria into your cheeses, on the cheeses that you are making. Okay, making it undesirable for the production and for the quality that you make. Okay, this microorganism will affect the flavor, will affect the aroma, and in general terms will affect the quality of your cheeses. Right, and by and by all means we have to prevent this pinkish pigmentation. How? We have to have in place hygiene protocols that will avoid this cross contamination when you are making this type of cheese. Tell you that I have made when I was making cheese at the beginning, I didn't know about all these protocols, and well, sometimes my cheeses got mold on top, sometimes black mold or blue one, and sometimes this pinkish mold. When I saw it the first time, I got really scared. So, and then I started to investigate. When I studied in the New Zealand Cheese School, I realized that it was a contaminant. That it was my cheeses were cross contaminated, and when I started developing my food control plan, I realized that I have to check all these protocols. So when this remember when this pink mold well, by that time I thought it was a mold, but it was a bacteria. And by that time, I thought, okay, something is not good, something is not wrong. We have to check everything, and we have to implement mitigation procedures to avoid this pigmentation, this pinkish pigmentation to pop up again. Okay, so now, why is this pigmentation happening? What type of bacteria is involved in this pigmentation? Basically, we have three bacteria, all right? We have three. But I'm going to tell you later on which bacteria it is. But in general terms, they are microorganisms, okay, that develop into the cheeses when our hygiene protocols are not the proper one, okay? It might include as well fungi or molds. It will depend of the contamination that the cross contamination that you get. Right? Sometimes you might get the pinkish one, or maybe the mold one, the black mold or whatever. Okay, you need to understand that when this pinkish flavor, when this pinkish pigmentation pop up, is because there are species of microorganisms involved and it's essential to prevent them. It's essential to prevent their development to ensure the quality of the cheeses that you are going to make. So, in general terms, we're going to have three type of bacteria, and this is what I wanted to tell you, right? Three type of bacteria. Some of them are um, harmless. In the case of the Brevibacterium linens, all right, they are harmless because basically the Brevibacterium linens is a bacteria that we use to make several type of cheeses. For example, we used to use the Brevibacterium to make Por Salud cheese, to make Monster cheese, among others, right? So, and its role is to put the cheeses, I wouldn't say pinkish, I would say orange. They put it orange. And the other characteristic of this type of bacteria, of the Brevibacterium linens, is to these cheeses that are invaded by Brevibacterium tends to smell a lot. Okay, of course they are very yum. I love them, especially Monster cheese. This is one of my favorite Monster cheese, but it smells a lot. Okay, it has a very strong aroma, and so it's not good for everyone. Some people like them, some people don't like them. Okay, but the other two bacteria, the Serratia marcescens or the Micrococcus roseus, these are the ones that we need to be worried about. However, they're also harmless. They're not going to affect our health, but they might develop some kind of off flavors that I'm going to tell you after later on in the next slides. Okay, so stay with me. The Serratia marcescens is very common. Okay, and produce this red pigment that we call it prodigiosin. Right, and the Micrococcus roseus is also known by this distinctive pigmentation. In my range from pink to red, because they produce carotenoid pigments, right? We have carotenoids in our body as well, but that's another story. Okay, but they're not harmful. Okay, they are harmless. They're not going to affect our health. But as I said before, they might produce a bad appearance into the cheese. If you see at the photo, the bacteria is attacking the cheese, and the cheese looks like it would have like some kind of jam or something like that, a strawberry jams or something. But that's not good. It's not. It doesn't have any effect on the cheese. Okay, what are now the why this bacteria pop up? Why this bacteria is produced? Okay, we have to have certain conditions in the cheeses that will help the bacteria to pop up, to reproduce, and we have to avoid this type of bacteria. But what are these ones? When the bacteria, when the Serratia marcescens, or where the micrococcus. By the way, the micrococcus is pseudomonas. Okay, so you guys need to know that. And the Serratia, I reckon, is pseudomonas as well, but I'm not sure, 100% sure. Right? Remember, I'm an engineer, not a medical, not a doctor, or a biologist. Okay, but anyway, these bacteria to reproduce have to have a good temperature, a good pH level, which this level should be when the pH level is high, or if maybe I would say neutral, around 7, these bacteria could reproduce. So we need to mitigate that. Okay, and when the bacteria also have a proper humidity, the bacteria will use the water to reproduce, and along with the temperature and the right pH level, she will pop up, right? Of course, we don't need to have the 3 of them at the same time. Maybe we can have 2, right? But if we have these 3 elements, ideal temperature, ideal pH, and adequate humidity for the bacteria to reproduce, this is the perfect storm for the bacteria. This is the perfect scenario, the perfect environment for the bacteria to reproduce, and she will reproduce. So what we have to do to avoid this bacteria to have the optimal condition for growth. So and we do that by controlling our manufacturing process. So we have to control the temperature, and we have it we must have it in below 4 degrees Celsius, all right? We have to have a pH level, and this pH level you have to establish it yourself according to the cheeses that you're making, but you have to be within this bandwidth. Let's say, for example, if you're going to make feta cheese, let's say, you have to have your pH level at 4.6, around 4.6, 4.7. It will depend, right? On your food control plan, but you need to comply with it. And the level of humidity, the moisture of the cheese should be measured as well. So you have to have these conditions established to avoid the bacteria to reproduce. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems with your production. Okay, and what are the effects? And I'm gonna tell you in the next slide. The effects of not having this, or the effect of, well, the effect will be the reproduction of the bacteria, and also let me put it here. Okay, you will have this effect. Okay, your cheeses won't look all right, and they will look bad. See, if you see in the photo, is this pinkish pigmentation is not very good. It tells you that something's wrong in the cheeses. Your cheeses should be like the upper photo. Okay, the upper picture is, see, the cheeses have a close body, they're clean, and so this is how it should be. But if your cheeses are in the other way, like the other photo, something is not working fine. It's not working okay in your food control plan, and you need to take action straight away. Okay, and if you don't do that, this pigmentation, this rosaceous pigmentation, can affect the consumer perception of of the product that he's buying, and maybe when he sees it like this, he won't buy from you. So you need to an attractive color can increase acceptance within your clients. Okay, so you need to try to avoid this type, or mitigate, I would say isolate it. Okay, this pinkish pigmentation, right? In this way, it will help the consumer to have the proper purchasing decision. So your client will buy from you, and this is what you are looking for. Okay. Also, when we are another consequence on the reproduction of this pinkish bacteria, okay, of the Serratia marcescens and the Micrococcus roseus, all right, is the alteration is because they alter they vary the maturation process. Okay, of course they have these bacteria have effect in the pigmentation of the cheese because this pinkish or these pink spots are going to pop up on the rind of the cheese, and something's not good, and something it will be it will alter the normal appearance of the cheese. Okay, its visual appeal, it will be altered. So, also, if you allow this pinkish bacteria to reproduce normally, it will alter the texture of the cheese. So we need to avoid it. We need to take it out as ASAP. Okay, and also will affect the taste and the aroma of the cheeses as well. All right, so you need to be careful, um, and have the proper controls when you are making this type of cheeses. Okay, um, any potential to the health? Yeah, maybe it will depend of the bacteria. If you have these first two, okay, they're harmless. But if there is another bacteria um, that you see, you need to understand that it might be the two of them, but you have to have um, a food control plan that you need to monitor each time that you are making cheese. All right, and you have to follow the same procedure. Okay, um, this rosaceous pigmentation can tell you that you have problems in your plant. Okay, and you need to evaluate it, and you need to prevent it, and you need to isolate it. Okay, otherwise you're gonna have microorganisms developing into your cheeses, and you're gonna have and this risk might be associated to pathogenic bacteria affecting the food safety and affecting the health of the consumer or the family or your family. So you need to take care. My advice, try to make cheeses using a food control plan and follow the food control plan. Okay, you need to comply with the food control plan. If the food control plan tells you that you need, for example, to put an example, if you have to make the cheese and the level of acidity should be between pH 4 and 5, you need to comply with the level of acidity between 4 and 5. And you need to write down the number that you got. So, in other words, you need to measure the pH. So, by complying with your system, you can, first of all, mitigate the bacteria to pop up. Secondly, you can prove to other parties that you are doing your job correctly. Okay, that you are complying with your system. Of course, is even if you are following your food control plan and you still have problems and you still have this pinkish pigmentation in your cheeses, this means that your food control plan is not working correctly, and you need to stop. You need to stop and reassess and try to put change your protocols a little bit, tweak them, make a small tweak in your protocol, and then remeasure again to see if you have to find out if you have the bacteria. How you have to make lab tests, and you have to, and this is an ongoing process. Okay, it's an ongoing process, and you need to have these cleaning protocols in place when you are making cheese. Your system will establish the frequency of this cleaning, of the hygiene of this cleaning process. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's daily, maybe it's every 3 days. You will decide what to do. Okay, but you have to have these cleaning protocols in place. Otherwise, you're going to have problems with your food safety plan, and therefore maybe legal problem. Okay, so now the next slide is how this pigmentation affect your cheeses, right? This is something that we need to consider. Okay, basically this type of they will, of course, they will influence the appearance of the cheese. Your cheese will turn pink, but it's not that the cheese is going to be whole pink. No, because they might be may be attractive, but no, that's not the way. Your cheese will develop like small spots, maybe 25 mils, 50 mils. It will depend on the invasion. All right. Um, and you will see that your cheeses are changing the aroma and also the flavor of the cheese. It will be affected. You will, if you try this type of cheese, they won't taste the same. They won't smell the same. So you need to be careful and you need to um, find out what is happening. Okay. Understanding this interaction, okay, between the bacteria, the humidity levels, and the reproduction of the bacteria, the pH level, okay, will improve. First of all, will take you to a safe product, and which this will improve the experience of your consumer, and also when they taste the cheeses, they will have a favorable the word is a good experience. They will have a good experience. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you now on the next slide how to avoid it. How maybe I'm gonna give you some good practices how you can improve your cheeses. Okay, way to prevent it. You have I'm gonna give you about two or three guidelines so you can have them this problem mitigated. First of all, you need to monitor your system. You have to have cheese sensory analysis evaluations periodically, okay? And you have to organize maybe taste studies to because the taste studies will get will take you to the preferences of the consumer, right? So it's important that you have it in place. And the importance of the sensory evaluations is crucial because in this way you can analyze all the factors such as this pigmentation problem that might affect the flavor of your cheeses, the aroma of your cheeses, in other words, the appearance of your cheeses. All right. So you need to have this permit this I would say this studies in place. Okay, you need to design. Okay, I'm going to reassess my cheeses every 3 months, for example, or monthly. Okay, in this way you can have your process monitor, and you will always know how are your cheeses are evolving along the way in the manufacturing process. All right. Okay. And also to avoid that and part of this monitoring and part of this protocol, part of this tasting process and this sensory analysis that you do periodically, you have to operate or you have to have good operating practices within your factory, within your house. Okay, in this way you can make a safe product. Okay, and you need to consider what the good eye hygiene. This is crucial when you are making cheese. My advice, I'm going to tell you my experience. When I make cheese, I always clean. I always clean the whole all the time. I let's say I put the mold on top of the shelf. I take it out, put it in a solution of chlorine. All right, keep all my equipment there, but always cleaning. Okay, if I put, for example, the scale, I put it on top of the shelf because I'm going to weigh the cheeses. When taking it out, I clean. Okay, with chlorine solution. Always try to keep the area disinfected. And for example, if I'm going like this, okay, because someone calls me, oh, because it's too hot, and my hair is all messed up. Okay, and I put my hands on my feet, on my head, on my hair, my hands are already contaminated, so I need to sanitize them again, and before I handle any type of cheese, any equipment, anything. Otherwise, you will be cross-contaminating your cheese. We have bacteria in our hair, we have bacteria in our clothes, and this is very important. When you have to wear also the a good gear, you have to have adequate working condition. You have to have in your plant, for example, free of bugs. You cannot have flies flying around your area, the work area, because this is a focus, or this is a point of cross contamination. The bacteria, the flies, for example, or maybe ants, they have bacteria in their legs, so you have to, and also in their body, so you have to avoid them by all means, right? Um, and also keep your equipment very clean all the time. What I do is I have a tank, okay, with water, not with water, with bleach solution at 200 parts per million, okay. If you don't know how to prepare this solution at 200 parts per million, there is a video in my channel how to prepare it, right? It is called disinfection techniques, right? Go over there and I'll teach you how to make this type of solution. Not only this one, also the alcohol solution. You need to have alcohol in place in your plant or in your kitchen. So I also always, before I go to bed, I spray with alcohol all the top of my kitchen, for example. Also in the plant. In the plant, we clean everything with chlorine solution and let it dry. And also all the equipment is within a tank, and each time and is the water, it has chlorine, has bleach on it. And before I grab it to use it in the cheese making process, I take it out from. At first, I put my hands inside the water to disinfect my hands. I don't use gloves at all because this is not a good practice to use gloves. Some people use gloves, but that's not the best option. Why? Because the glove get contaminated, right? And once it get contaminated, you carry on with the glove. Even though you have gloves, it doesn't save you from cross contamination. So, what saves you from cross contamination is that you put your hands in chlorine solution. In this way, your hands are sanitized, are disinfected, and you can manipulate. One time you manipulate something, you have to put it back again in the solution. And this is an ongoing process. Do it every time, all right? And gloves, they're not good. Unless you have a wound. If you have a wound, okay, you need to cover it. And you cover it with a glove. Okay, that's that. And you have, or with a plaster. All right. And you put a plaster and then wrap it up with a glove. But you have to also disinfect the glove each time that you're going to make cheese. So if you're using the glove just by using it, you're not doing anything. You're just spreading the bacteria from one place to the other. Right? So this is very important. Have your clean equipment and have working conditions. Okay. And if you have, for example, flies in your kitchen or flies in your plant because it's summer, all right, you have to have, for example, an aircon to cool a little bit the environment, and so the employees or even yourself have a good environment to work. All right, the sweat might fall into the brine, for example, and could contaminate the brine. So you have to have adequate working condition, and also your personnel should be trained in how to use the equipment, and you have to have rules in place. For example, no phones allowed in the cheese making process. To put an example, you have to design your own rules. So, by designing your own rules and complying with at least these three um, operation practice, that they are good operation practice, you will mitigate or minimize the cross contamination of your cheeses, and then it will be translated in a safe product and a good product, and of course in a good reputation with your client. Okay. Also, the use of additives. Sometimes you before when you are making cheese, we use additive, and this type of additive will help the bacteria, this pinkish pigmentation, to reproduce. So we have to use this type of additive. And not only the additive, you can not only for the pinkish pigmentation, you can use it for other cheeses as well, or for all or for other reason. Maybe to avoid, for example, if you are making Gouda, we can use an additive to avoid the cheese to get contamination, and sorry, to get cross contaminated with Clostridium, for example. It's just to put an example. Um, the thing is that maybe you have to use niacin or lysosome. These are additives that we use in the cheese, okay? But I don't use them. Why? Because pretty much I make fresh cheeses, and otherwise, and the other thing is that I like to have organic product. I don't like to use additive at all. I control this type of uh, bacteria with a proper level of pH and a proper level of salt. By controlling the two of them, you may, of course, I don't make big amounts of cheeses, but eventually, if you make big amounts of cheese, let's say 15, 50, 60, 100,000 liters of milk, you might need this type of additive because it's very hard to control them, bro. So, but you have, what I'm telling you is that by using additive, you might control the microorganism, you might mitigate them, maybe isolate them, right? And get a good quality product in the cheeses that you are making, right? And of course, when you are making the cheeses, you need to monitor your process. Every time that you making cheese, you have to continuous monitor your process. You have to continuous monitor the temperature of the cheeses, the temperature of your milk, the temperature of your cheesecake, and the moisture content, the humidity, and you have to have instruments in place to do that. All right. To control the temperature, you have to have thermometers into your cheesecake, all right, to control the temperature and make the registry and put in your food safety plan. And also the same happens with the control of humidity, right? It's very important that you control and monitor these parameters, because in this way, I guarantee you that you're gonna make a safe product for your client, a safe product for your family. Okay. Just to wrap up this presentation, it's very important that you monitor, and when you are making cheese, you have to understand what's happening into the cheese. You need to know the causes, the cause, and the consequences of not controlling the pinkish pigmentation in your cheeses. And you need to, and in this way, by understanding what is the cause, that what organisms are involved. I already explained to you the Serratia marcescens, Micrococcus roseus, and also the Brevibacterium lineage, in case of when you are making this type of cheeses, the Port Salut, Monster, and others, right? So, Livarot, I reckon, is also used this pigmentation. I'm not very sure. Okay, I've never made the Livarot. There are certain type of cheeses that use this Brevibacterium, which is harmless. All of them are harmless, but the other two, the Serratia and the the Roseus, Micrococcus roseus, they produce off flavors and not a very good appearance into the cheese. You need to have prevention strategies, which should be included in your food control plan, and in order to mitigate it, you have to have um, prevention strategies, okay, to mitigate. This is the key. This is the key to avoid this bacteria to pop up into your cheeses. Because if you don't do that, you will have problem in quality. You will have problem in the cheeses that you make. Okay, you're not gonna make a safe product for your clients, and this will affect your reputation as a cheesemaker. It will and the product acceptance within your market. Okay, and the worst case scenario is that you might get fined by the authorities, the food control authorities, and these fines cost money. So, and worst case scenario, they will shut down your company or you shut down your premises. So, we need to comply with this. All right? This is very important that we comply with it. Well, this is it. This is what I wanted to tell you about the cheese making problem and this pink with pigmentation. So if you have any question, I'm pretty sure I can answer it. I'm very glad to answer it for you. Let me see if we have it here. A lot of people connected here in Instagram. Let me see, and in YouTube as well. Okay. Well, that's it. No questions here. No problem. Anyway, I'll see you next week. And remember that if you are making cheese and you have any problem, each week I will be here taking care, speaking about cheese and speaking about the passion and the feeling that we can feel when we are making cheese. And also, if you have any problem, let me know, and I will help you out, and I will tell you what to do and how to avoid. All right. Follow me on Instagram at Dr. Quesero, YouTube, Dr. Quesero TV, okay, my channel. And also in TikTok, we are in Facebook in Dr. Quesero Official. Dr. Quesero means cheesemaker in Spanish. All right. Dr. Quesero in Spanish is quesero in Spanish. Okay. Follow me over there. We also and you can also visit me in my website, Dr. Quesero TV. Even though it's in Spanish, you can see it. Let me put you the link here if you want to. Here it is. Okay, put it. This is my website. Even though if in Spanish, with Google Chrome, you can translate it to English automatically and simultaneously. So you don't have to learn Spanish to understand what I'm putting in my website. I have recipes over there. I have my blog, my podcast. You can and if you want to receive all this information weekly, just subscribe to my newsletter, right? And I will send you the information every week, which is a summary of all the information that I will do during the week. I send you the new article, the new recipe, so if you want to cook and make and surprise your friends or your family or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, okay, or your partner, simply. You can make a food. Everything is related to cheese. Okay, so maybe you can. We have a recipe, for example, how to make the tartiflette, which is a French cake potato, with cheese on top of it. We come and using. I remember using the Revolution cheese. So you can make all these recipes in my website. I have it there, all the step by step, and also cheese making. And the blog is very important because in the blog I put information about cheese making, tips, secrets. So go over there and find it. Okay. So that's it. Well, see you next week. And remember that if you follow me, you're gonna be only one cheese away of making cheese and learning. And you want to change your life for good through cheese making process. See you next week. Bye-bye.
In the lab with a twist of fate, the cheese doctor's here. It's never too late with a wheel of brie and cheddar so fine. He knows every flavor, every design. He's got the cures for every craving, from creamy goat cheese to sharp and amazing. No lactose, no problem. He's got the